We continue now with Judith Escalona's film, Bx3m, and we have her here, the director and producer and screenwriter. So Judith, thank you for being here with us because we want to know more about film, and we know it's a challenging career and profession, and you're a professor as well. And the movie you made, Bx3m, what was the main impetus that caused you to say, let's go in this direction? It's a story about three persons in the Bronx, and what brought you to want to do this, to go through this level?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Randy.
Our pleasure.
Bx3m is a story of three teenagers growing up in the Bronx, and I was actually prompted to create it partly based on my experiences in growing up in the Bronx, like people that I've known or certain things that I read, and even certain people that I've taught, like students in high school. And so it's a story, it's a fictional narrative that takes place in the Bronx, in the inner city, and it focuses on three teens, Maria, Mona, and Michael, and they are the three M's, and of course the BX is the Bronx. And so it was a project that was an early screenplay that I wrote and that I was very touched by because it has a very personal aspect to it. Partly it's an homage to my people, to the people in my community at that time when I was growing up, and many of the consequences that resulted from growing up in the inner city. And it's a tale that's sort of complex because some of the kids make it, as it were. They are able to transcend their circumstances. But one of the characters, it's sort of ambiguous on what's going to happen to him. It also focuses on the girls. There are two, Maria and Mona, and their lives in the inner city, because usually these urban dramas focus on the boys, and you know, it's usually like guys beating each other up or something. And this drama is much more complex because it addresses like issues like loving someone too much and the person's not really right for you. And that's Maria's story. And then Mona's story is a sexual identity story. And then it's Michael. Michael's like the tragic hero because he's sort of trapped in his past and how he's able to transcend it in the end. But it was the trauma from his childhood that really affects the course of his life. So he's almost fated to go in the direction that he goes in. And so you know, it's like art is always some sort of reflection of your life, like things you've thought, people you've known, things you've read. So it sort of combines all of that.
Now the film, thank you very much for that. That's very insightful. The film has received numerous awards in film festivals in Europe, Berlin, in Milan, and in the United States, several films.
Yeah.
How did the audience and judges receive that? Well,
it was really exciting because firstly, we were an official selection in the Milan IFF, which is the International Filmmakers Film Festival, and it takes place in Milan, and it takes place in other cities as well. And they're all separate festivals, actually. And so that one was in December, and it was well received there. We won 2 awards. Actually, my actors have been winning awards. So we won in Milan, Monica Delgado, who plays Mona, won for Best Supporting Actress. Oh. But we had 8 nominations. So Jasmine Caratini was nominated for Best Actress in a Feature Film. It was nominated for Best Feature Film. Best Screenplay, Best Editing, and I edited my own film. And I forgot the other ones. Best Cinematography, which was Ted Tuchelski, who did a great job. And then that's 5, and there were 2 other. Oh, Best Supporting Actor for the character who played Duke, Belto Colon, who's now in Orange is the New Black and some other TV series. A lot of the actors actually have moved on and done very well. So we were, that was in Milan. We had eight really, and then Best Supporting Actress. And then and so we won in two, Best Supporting Actress, Monica Delgado, and then Ted won for Best Cinematography. In Berlin, which was just a couple of weeks ago, and I was there, and actually Monica went there to the Berlin International Filmmakers Film Festival. She was there with her mom, actually, and she won again for Best Supporting Actress. And then Mario Eusebio, who you interviewed earlier, was also won for Best Supporting Actor. So they came away, the Bx3m came away with 2 awards from each of those European festivals. And then in the States, when I got back, we had won Best Picture in the Shauna Shea Memorial Film Festival, which is a film festival that's devoted to women and to really inspiring young girls to become filmmakers. We won Best Picture there. That's in Massachusetts. And then we also won in the Pocono Mountains Film Festival. We won Best Picture as well. And that was, I think, last week. So, you know, we're just like picking up like this whole momentum of recognitions. And we're hoping to have more coming up.
Now, how can people in the audience find your film or go? How do you distribute it? Or
well,
what mediums?
Yeah, the film hasn't been released yet. It's really going to be released online, and it's going through Distributor.com, which is a platform for like different festivals, for really showcasing different films. It'll probably be on Amazon, but people could actually like Bx3m the movie on Facebook. If you like that, like our Bx3m the movie on Facebook, then in the future you will see we're constantly posting, like when it appears at certain screenings and festivals, and also we're posting when it's going to actually be released as a film.
I see. So that's something that people could look forward to. Now, in your career, I know you've done a lot of things. You found the Medianoche galleries, and you work with the Puerto Rican Dream.
Well, PRDream.com was actually the first online project that we did. It's a website on the history, culture, and art of Puerto Rico and the Puerto Rican diaspora. It's very old. It's one of the first. It's actually the first Latino website of its kind on the web. And it was founded in 1998, and it had a movie section, oral histories. It had a gallery. It had a forum, although all of that's migrated now to Facebook. So it had multiple sections.
I know we have about 2 minutes, so I want you to tell our young audience or audience in general what career path you think they need to take today to get into the industry if they so like the media of filmmaking, performing, or exactly filmmaking.
I mean, I think
how they go about this.
This is like the best time because there's so much accessibility in terms of you could have your own YouTube channel, for instance, and the technology has become so available. I mean, people are making films with their smartphones. And so the actors, I still believe, need to have training to develop technique. I also think writing is really critical. And so you need to you want to study literature, you want to look at, also study playwriting, screenwriting. You really have to just really cultivate a great deal in order to have a sense of what's character development, what's a plot. And that goes across the boards, whether you're writing a novel, a play, it's across the boards. What's good character? You really have to understand literature and what's dramatic form. But the technology is much more available, and people should just go and shoot their films over and over again.
Really?
And just see what comes out.
Well, that's food for thought. Judith, I thank you very much for being with us. And for the actors that you brought to talk about the film, and we look forward to your future endeavors. Could you tell us a little bit more about, before we close, your future film and screenplay?
A project that's really been dear to my heart is the story of Lolita Lebron, And so I think it's something that I started researching like many, many years ago when she was still alive. And it really hurts me that she's passed on and that I hadn't really produced the project. But it's something that I've gone back to, especially under the current circumstances that what's happening to Puerto Rico now, this major crisis.
Thank you.
And so I'm really interested in
Judith,
pursuing that.
for
All right.
being here with
Thank
our
you very
audience
much.
and talking about
Gracias.
the film industry and
Bx3m.
your movie Bx3m. And I'd like to thank also our associates that helped make this possible, Marino Polanco and Miguel Mercado. Without them, we couldn't have done this.
That's very